All right. Okay. Here we are. This is video 9. I just had to go back and check. Video 9 of whatever this video series is that I'm doing. It's roughly 7 p.m. on July 1st, 2024. And it makes me 30. I also forgot to say my name is Jack Peter Consiglio Jr., JP. Yeah, officially 30. Crazy to think that I started doing this when I was 22, and I obviously had no idea what I was doing then, and I have no idea what I'm doing now with it, but it's now become a bit of a tradition, so I might as well keep up with it. I have a cat underneath me. It's Moose. I've been thinking a lot about what I wanted to talk about in this video. I guess I'll just kind of jump in with quick general updates. This might be longer than some of my other videos while Dexter's trying to break into the room beside me. So I guess like general updates is Zoe and I are less than 4 months from getting married. So by this time next year to make this video, I will be a husband. Yeah, which is incredible. Zoe's been doing a lot of the planning. You know, I can't even begin to pretend that I've done much. So I'm very thankful for her for that. A lot of my attention is definitely focused on, it seems like at this point, just like general survival stuff, which sounds like a cop-out, but just trying to kind of make it through the day. I'm also obviously managing stuff with my parents. I finally sold my dad's 32 Ford, which was a big deal. I had no idea what I was doing. Still barely managed to make it happen, but I did it, which is massive. Can you guys chill? I think that's quite indicative of where I'm at in my life right now. All right, so it's just like a general thing there. My dad's still obviously super sick. I guess it was confirmed that he's in late stage Parkinson's, dementia, thin as a rail. I mean, the dude's dying, you know? And, you know, I continuously still have to kind of not ignore it, but just continuously accept that, you know? And a lot of people obviously still ask, which I appreciate, but I always sugarcoat it. I don't know, it's obviously something that weighs heavily on me, and I just continue to patter on with it. And I know it's, you know, losing a parent isn't like a novel experience. Like, everyone goes through it, but it doesn't necessarily take away the pain of it. And especially, you know, cognitively, I feel like I've lost him already. He's there sometimes where I can kind of get a little bit out of him, but it's like not really my dad as much as I remember. So, and I know, again, this is all part of time in life, and I can't avoid it. It's inevitability here, but I just wish it wasn't like this. You know, with my mom, she's doing better too, which is fantastic. But he's kind of going a bit down, she's coming back up, so we take that as it is. She's still obviously, in some ways isn't my mom, but in a lot of ways very much is, so I have to like look at the positive there. Still leads me to kind of traverse the world alone, it feels like sometimes, because I can't really gain counsel like I wish I could. I wish I asked more questions. I wish I wasn't so naive. Going back to even when I was 22 making this first video, I wish I can kind of like shake myself then and tell myself, you know, don't take advantage of this time. Because very quickly it shifted. You know, and it's hard. I try to give myself, my younger self, grace and understanding, because I didn't know. You know, I was very much just kind of in here, me versus the world in a lot of ways. And, you know, I guess like the downside again, having older parents, is I was trying to find myself, and my parents were getting older, and by the time I kind of had a footing, they were getting sick. So I didn't really get a chance to have like a real adult relationship with them. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, but it's obviously, I think about it a lot, you know. Anyway, yeah. Oh my goodness, and since the last video too, Zoe, oh my god, wow, more I think about it. But the time I made this last video when I turned 29, Zoe had a mass in her lower abdomen, which wasn't cancer, but it was massive. 5 pounds, huge, to the point where they had to remove a uterus, which was one of the worst days of my life. And I know for her it must have been like tenfold, so I don't want to be selfish in saying that, but it was hard. Wow, yeah, I can't even, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't even believe that that's the reality, that a year ago I was making this video and we had no idea what was to come, because so much changes in a year. But she's feeling better now. It's definitely going to affect a bit on becoming parents, but at this point I'm optimistic, and I believe she is too, about what that can look like, as we both continue to try to grow together, and eventually become good parents. That's still obviously a focus of mine. But yeah, again, for the sake of time, I don't want to drag this out like incredibly long, because it's supposed to be a quick update, but I'm still working at the same place. Maybe leaving. It's a shit show, to say the least, so probably should get out. So I'm working on that. Still cats breaking into the room. Yeah, no, I think now going into my 30s, I know there's supposed to be a clarity. And I know it's probably not an instant thing, like, oh, you're 30 and it's time for your clarity. But I think I'm more confused than I ever have been in a lot of ways. You know, the days are flying so fast. And I just can't get my footing. Like, I feel like sometimes I have it and I'm in control, but a lot of the time things are just happening around me. And I'm so confused. Like, I definitely feel like I have more of a path than when I was 22. Like, I feel like, I guess I'm stable. But then it really doesn't feel that way a lot of the time. I know that's probably just like my perception of it all, which I get. And I don't want to be dramatic with it, because things are good. They could be way worse. I don't know. I guess maybe it's like the monotony of it all. Like, I know people get lost in the race and the day-to-day, living for the weekend, living for breaks. And it's just, some days just feel the same. And I don't know if I'm too afraid, too nervous, too anxious to do anything about it yet, but I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like eventually I gotta do it, make a change or do something drastic, because I wouldn't say I'm struggling, but I don't know, something needs to happen. Because I don't know if this exactly can be the rest of my life. Like, I'm obviously happy with Zoe, I'm happy with, you know, my pets and my cats and things of that nature, my friends and family, but there's just something, I don't know, missing. I don't know if I'm just kind of going off on this tangent, but I guess long and short of it, I'm still a bit confused, and I guess maybe that's okay. I know I'm never gonna completely figure it out, but I'm hopeful and optimistic that in my 30s maybe it gets more clear. Or maybe it doesn't. That's just something we're told to feel better about turning 30 and getting older. But yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that's worth mentioning. I feel like I never have enough time in these videos, and even this one I'm pushing longer than I have the others. I will say, and I guess this is I've done a lot of, I wouldn't say soul searching this year, but a lot of introspection, trying to learn about myself and grow as a person, and trying not to make the same mistakes, trying to learn why I do what I do, trying to just understand myself. And I guess in doing that, hopefully understanding how I operate in the world and taking more control of that. You know, I always say I'm my greatest project. Again, not in a selfish way or narcissistic way, but I am the only one who has to live with me at all times, and I want that place to feel comfortable. So I guess going forward, that is the biggest thing I will do with things going on, the stressors, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, the anxiety is just continuing to be comfortable with me, because there's gonna be a lot of change going on around me. And if I can't be comfortable with me, I don't want to be a lost cause. That being said, I'm pushing the time here. So yeah, it's probably about 7:10 on July 1st, 2024. My name is Jack Peter Consiglio Jr., and I'm officially 30 years old. Let's see what happens. Later.